Welcome to StarCard Podcast. Here at StarCard Podcast, we get a glimpse at the age of Aquarius ahead of us. We also examine the worlds of education and workplace ethics. My name is Breakaway Ray. I like talking about the breakaway civilizations because we're breaking away from the one we're in now. You've tuned in to a live tarot throw. Today is December 16th, 2025. To start off the show, I've got two cards for you, two cards for now, and two cards for later. We will get to audience readings. If you're tuning in live today, you can request a tarot reading for the second part of the show by typing in all capital letters, tarot, please. Please check the chat. I've listed all the decks that are in play. And we're going to get to audience readings maybe in about 30 minutes from now. We have another reading from the book that I wrote called The Convoluted Autobiography. That's linked in the description with my other book, Let's Go Off Planet with Breakaway Ray. So we're going to go back to the Convoluted Autobiography, but today's special message comes from the spirit world and spirit guides. I'm going to be sharing more about one of my spirit guides and another interview from a different psychic that I haven't told you about yet. But in the meantime, I know you can't wait for your tarot cards, everybody. Let's go to the tarot cam. All right, we're going to throw some light on the tarot stage. I got two cards for you for now and two cards for later. Merry breakaways, everybody. But first, let's show you all the decks that are in play, shall we? All right, I'm going to go get them. All right, leading off, I have the Ethereal Bloom deck. That is this deck right down here. That's already on the table. I have this deck called the Classic deck, and what's wonderful, of course, about this deck is that you can learn tarot in a hurry. All the words are written right on the card. I've only been throwing tarot cards since March. I learned a lot with this deck. I always keep it handy. Also, if you're going to be a real tarot card thrower, you got to know the Robin Wood tarot deck. So that's the one I'm going to be starting off with today, like to practice. Oh, but then I'm so privileged to have a selection like this to offer and share with everybody on the internet. Even just if you're not even tuning in live and you're just catching and recording, such beautiful images on all of these decks. So I have one called the Lost Soul Tarot, one called the Neon Tarot. This is one of my early favorites, the Stained Glass Tarot. I'm a big fan of stained glass and stained glass windows. I got the Old Style Tarot. Check this out. Some guy named Alexander Ray created these. Anyway, cool name, great tarot deck. And then here's the industrial size tarot box for the Mermaid Tarot. Oh, did I say the gold foil deck? Check out this gold foil deck. This is for people who may not know a lot about tarot. You never know. Here we go. Check this out. So on these cards, it's got like a metallic texture to it. Okay, catches the light differently. And then, of course, more great dramatic imagery. Catches the light so nicely. There's the World card. All right, so all these decks are available if you are interested. Let's clean up the tarot card table so we can start throwing some cards. All right. In the interest of saving time, I've pre-shuffled this deck. They are ready to be dealt. Two for now, two for later. We're going to send an inspirational message to all the viewers. Now, if you're catching this on a recording, you know, these cards apply to you because this is when you needed to hear it. This is when the tarot world wanted to send you this message. So two for now. I'm going to go from the top and the bottom. Two for now. And then let's fan. Ooh, I got two right there. All right, I'm going to limit myself to two for now and two for later. Let's see what the messages are. Yay. So we have the Ace of Pentacles and the Chariot. Hey, did you hear me laugh just now? It's the first time I've laughed all day. Of course, it's only 4 in the morning. I guess I'm off to an early start. So anyway, hey, everybody, whatever that project is, you know, that gift from God that you're working on, your soul's mission, whether it be 3D, 4D, 5D, or some other D, the tarot world says, take it and run with it. pick up that ball that's fumbled around on the football field and go run to the end zone, it's the Chariot card. Look, the Chariot card knows it's the holiday season. You can see the stars behind doing their impression of snowflakes. So there you go, everybody. 2 cards for right now. Whatever you got, run with the ball. Go for the end zone. And now 2 for later. Yeah. I'm so relieved. Making it easy. 2 for later, everybody. It's the 3 of Cups, the celebration card. Check out how much fun those people are having. And then there's the Temperance card. I'd like to point out that everybody has a drink in their hand. So 2 for later. Yeah, you get to chill out and celebrate later and be cool later, however you do it, okay? But right now, 2 for now, go for it. Do the hard part now. Burn up the karma now so you can chill out and coast all the way home. All right. Thank you, Tarot World. That was inspiring to me. I want to say hello to all the friends already in the chat. Thanks a lot for tuning in, everybody. I appreciate it. You know, while I have the camera down here, I want to show you because, well, okay, hang on a second. Let's come upstairs. Wow. So I'm looking at the statistics up here in the corner of my screen. I have 4 people joining me already. That's great. I'm really glad that you're here. Hey, if you're one of those people that's been following StarCard Podcast and following along and listening to Breakaway Ray talk about his suggestions, I'm always like recommending, get out your notebook and write. And so while I have this opportunity, I want to show you that that's what I've been doing. And I've been throwing tarot cards for myself, obviously, and, picking it up in the book and writing them down and sorting things out. But I hadn't done it in a while. I was throwing cards for myself for a while. But as a lot of viewers know, the messages are so clear, it was starting to spook me. So I was glad to be able to read for other people. So anyway, the messages, again, are so crystal clear. And again, I'm not only spooked, but I'm thinking to myself, while I'm reading these cards, I'm all, is this what it's like for StarCard Podcast viewers? Because this is pretty incredible. It's like almost like a dialogue. So right on, everybody. Look, you invite me to read for you. I get to practice. And now we all get to 9 of Pentacles and enjoy the fruits of our labor. This is a team effort. So again, it's a team effort. I'm showing you, team. I put my money where my mouth is. And this is what you're helping me get to. Let's check out my new notebook. By the way, I'm like not excited to have a new notebook. I'm like, I'm done with notebooks. I got too many notebooks. I'm throwing notebooks away. Anyway, let's take a look at this notebook. All right, we recognize the cover. And as I mentioned, when I write in my book, I handwrite and I use a pen. I don't use a felt tip marker. So this is actually, here we go. Just going to flip through it very quickly. I'm just showing you how industrious I am. And there was like a, well, that's not it. There we go. Backwards. Anyway, it's quite a lot of writing. Just wanted to share that with you because you're probably going to see it again. I'm probably going to recommend it again. All right. I mean, it's like it accelerates your learning. It accelerates reflection. All right. So back to more of my writing. Everyone knows I like to be prepared. And I just want to let you see, of course, I've drafted all my notes. So if I'm not making eye contact, okay, it's because I'm checking my notes real quick. I know I'm not making eye contact right now. Speaking of being prepared, I'm making myself laugh now. This is my first published book called The Convoluted Autobiography. I'm going to be referring to these pages because I'm going to be talking about psychics. And as I've shared with the story before, I've met with lots of psychics. I've transcribed by hand what they said, so I understand what they're talking to me about. And today I'm presenting documented evidence. So let's come upstairs. So all my ideas are going to be creative, okay? So I'm going to take what I see and I'm going to create meaning and I'm going to try to tie all of this information together for myself. And I just want to say that I wrote this book in 2024. This was way before I knew about tarot cards. But I was industrious because I had like the situation going on at work that I'm going to tell you a little bit more about today. And then I needed to find out what was going on because nothing made sense. And I figured if I could speak to a spirit guide, you just tell me what's going on. My grandma used to have a saying, the organized person can be happy even in hell. Like if you know you're going to be tortured at this time and you're going to be tortured a different way at that time, all right, at least you got it under control. You know what to expect. So I was trying to seek, spiritual knowledge, a little clue so that I could settle down and see what was going on. Anyway, let's go back to the notes, shall we? All right. Well, yeah, that's the other thing. Not everybody, including myself, can afford to hire people to offer their services like this over and over again. But obviously, I made that part of my budget. It was better than entertainment. If I hired a psychic, whether I paid $50 or paid upwards of $300, okay, I would have weeks, if not months, of entertainment, something for me to think about, some way to aim my life so that I improve myself and improve my situation. And not only that, a lot of the words that they shared that I typed out so I could study, again, compiled them and put them in my book. So anyway, I'm going to tell you now about the names of some of the psychics I met with, not all of them. Oh yeah, by the way, so here's how we go, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm going to start my little spiel, my little story. I'm going to set the stage for what this spirit guide person says to me via a channel. And this channel's name is the Reincarnated Mystic. You can look her up. She is in Utah. I think she only gives classes now. She doesn't do individual readings, but I'll be talking about the Reincarnated Mystic in a moment. But I want to tell you about these other psychics. And if I share my experiences with psychics and some of the conclusions that I've drawn, maybe that's going to help someone who watches this video, if they're thinking about the same thing. I've got some skills, but it would be nice to have a psychic just to tell me what's going on. I wonder if anyone else has done this. What's their experience like? I hope this helps. I'm glad and fortunate. I think I get to share this because, of course, I didn't see this one coming. All right, let me get my light set up. Thanks a lot for joining me, everybody. All right. Look at that lighting. Well, you know what? This is a scary part of the story, so we'll go with the scary lighting here. All right. Okay, so the first part of my story involves the crisis I was experiencing at work. It looked like, it appeared that some people that I worked with, for whatever reason, I was perceiving as if there was like information being spread that wasn't correct, and was aimed in such a way that was supposed to belittle me and knock me down. And, if you want to take it all the way to the other end of the spectrum, after everything that's been said and done, I feel grateful that I get to be at home and I don't have any other issues, in a weird way. They did me a favor, maybe in a weird, spooky, wonderful way. But anyway, they got what they desired, whatever their motivations were. I can't say I understand it. My problem was I was trying too hard to understand it. And maybe that's like the lesson I needed to learn, or one of the lessons I need to learn. I talked to my spirit guides and they told me what my main lesson was. Again, we're going to get to that. So hang in there. It's going to be a little bit longer of a prep before we get to audience readings in case you have to budget your time. Okay. And I know everyone knows I'm cautious about using up your time. All right. So I presented that part. Let's see. Yeah. So for years, I knew this was going on. I would contact the people in the union. I would contact administrators off campus, at the district level, just to make sure everyone knew my situation, because the whole idea was, you get everybody excited and hysterical, and then all of a sudden they just got to move the man out of the situation just to get everybody to be quiet. And I didn't want that to happen. None of the stuff that they were pretending to get excited about was actually taking place. So, which leads me to this funny comment one of my colleagues made. I'm sorry, I have to share this. I work with a lot of ladies at the elementary school. Lovely ladies. They're very lovely people. And a lot of them had husbands. But one of them happened to comment one time that I, as a male colleague at the elementary school, I was everyone's work husband. I was their work husband. And, people could say, hey, Breakaway Ray, aren't you getting a little excited about this? We're just joking around. You get so upset when we do things like, anyway, I never reacted to that. I just said it didn't sound cool. In my mind, however, these are the punchlines I came up with. Being everyone's work husband, that sounds like, there's a bunch of ladies I work with. It sounds like none of the fun of a real marriage. And it sounds like none of the fun of a sorority house. So, this is where I feel like I could get in trouble with 50% of my best viewers at StarCard Podcast. I'm going to qualify everything I say. I didn't grow up with a mom. I've never had a girlfriend, never had a companion. I'm being frank and open about this. So I'm likely to say something that, a lot of people would be aghast at. I claim ignorance. And I encourage everyone to be patient with me as I get through the lesson, because actually what the spirit guide tells me has to do with all of this. Anyway, moving on with my spiel. So we talked about being the work husband. And yeah, I did mention I've had mostly a female-free life. So I've missed out. I know I've missed out. I can't tell you how many times I see, families and other women, and they all look like they're wonderful people, and it just doesn't jive for me. It doesn't work out. Now, you could have checked my Psychic Liz Cross playlist and gone to the Sarah Adelia adventure and found out why cosmically I was not destined to have a girlfriend or a companion like that. You can go check that out. But that doesn't mean I understand that and that I don't yearn for it, and I'm not jealous. The grass is always greener on the other side of the fence. It looks so wonderful. I feel like I could have been a good dad and a good husband. And the clock's not running out, right? Come on, come on, Breakaway Ray. I'm not giving up hope. But anyway, it's not going to be. Let's go back to my notes here. So it's a female-free life for me, and let's see. Yeah. Anyway, I don't understand what I wrote. I'm going to move on to the next part. So here I am, year after year. I'm having this situation at work where, my reputation is constantly maligned. And then just because I can't afford to make any waves, there's some extra tasks and challenges set before me that I just have to grind out and, bite the bullet and swallow my pride and eat up the time and do it because it was not a level playing field. So I'm now consulting with psychics because none of my friends and family would understand this. And I don't want to bother them with this stuff. That's not what I want my life to be about with my family and friends, is talking about my challenges at work. I shouldn't have these challenges at work. I was well aware of that. So anyway, I want to tell you about some of these psychics, not all of them, some of the psychics that I've met with over the last couple of years. It includes someone named the Psychic Duck. And you may know that I posted a video of my interview with the Psychic Duck yesterday. Again, go check out StarCard Podcast. It's in the Merry Breakaways playlist. Okay. Psychic Liz Cross has her own StarCard Podcast playlist. Okay. A lady named Tina Slade from Great Britain. However, we did a video conference when she was in Thailand, and I was out here on the West Coast of the United States. Her name is Tina Slade. She works with a companion named Oracle. And that reminds me of, I wasn't going to mention her, but Melissa Gates Perry, she works with a companion, an ethereal companion called Aralam. So Tina Slade and Oracle are pretty much the same thing, although Tina Slade and Oracle are actually the same consciousness. Tina Slade is the human part, and there's an elevated dimension of her that is a companion in the astral world. Well, I can't believe I just said all that stuff. Okay, another person I worked with was Bonnie Saratore. All of these people so far, you could have seen on the Typical Skeptic podcast. I saw Tina Slade on the Kevin Moore show. Okay. Sean Bond, another Typical Skeptic podcast guest. I interviewed with him. I interviewed with Margie Kay. I interviewed with someone named Ms. Margot. One of my first tarot card experiences was with Ms. Margot. And then, as I mentioned, the reincarnated mystic, her name is Diet. It's an uncommon name. And Diet, the reincarnated mystic, is out in Utah. And I saw her on the Kevin Moore show. Well, I saw her on the Kevin Moore show, I think. But then there was a link to another interview that she did where she interviewed a dog persona, a real being that lived in Atlantis. And so, she was relaying a message from this dog persona live to the person that was interviewing her. and that was the thing that clinched it for me. I'm all, she's not making this stuff up. This is pretty incredible. Anyway, I was so grateful to have met with the reincarnated mystic. And I'm going to share with you that much of the 3 interviews that I did with her are in this book. My grand finale is the speech by my spirit guide in here. Okay, I think I talk about spirit guides next. Yes. Okay. So, as I mentioned, I was like trying to step on the gas, talk to these psychics, and get information that would make things make sense for me here on Earth. I wanted to talk to these so-called spirit guides. I didn't even know I had any. Okay, I thought, there was God and Jesus, and that was it. Anyway, let me move on there. So, in order to write this book, I felt like I needed to have a spirit guide. I know that as an amateur playwright myself, I was good at writing dialogue. So if I could create a character that was a spirit guide, he and I could have the conversation about what's going on. He could explain it to me. So I chose the character to be represented by the actor Pierce Brosnan, famous for the James Bond movies. He's a very illustrious, accomplished actor. He's still doing stuff today. So that's like a joke for me, that I'm running through this adventure in this book, with Pierce Brosnan protecting me like he's James Bond and he's got a watch and all this stuff going on. But he's actually like an off-world magician at the same time, and he's my spirit guide. He's looking out for me. So anyway, I was never like a Pierce Brosnan guy. I was a Roger Moore guy. I was born in the 1960s. So Roger Moore was my James Bond guy. I had no idea why I was interested in showing Pierce Brosnan, but I did like the one scene from one of the movies he made where they actually took him prisoner in Korea and they tortured him. It was very un-James Bond-like, but he got out of it eventually when he learned to meditate and control his body and his heartbeat. And maybe everyone remembers that scene where he caused his own cardiac arrest and they had to open the protected hospital room. And when they did that, he jumped back to life and escaped. And I'm all, that's pretty cool. Anyway, still a Roger Moore guy. Congratulations, Mr. Brosnan. Great work. But so Pierce Brosnan is so far representing my spirit guide. And I never shared this with any of the psychics that I talked to. All right. So let me see what I got down next. All right. So I was talking to Diet one time, the reincarnated mystic, and she told me, like at one of my interviews, she said, yeah, you do have a spirit guide. It's a Roman soldier guy. And when she said that, I'm all, yeah, I knew there was somebody like that back there, a Roman soldier. I mean, I'd felt it all along the whole time, and it made sense. Who knows, Breakaway Ray? Maybe she just felt your sense of having a Roman soldier guy there. Now, having a Roman soldier as a spirit guide, that was encouraging. You're talking about someone who's wearing a uniform. He's dressing for the profession. He's serious. He knows how to protect himself. Sounds like a good guy to have protect me. Okay, so lots of things matched up. Ancient Italian history, that lines up with my view of my own ancestry. All my folks came over on the boat around the turn of the last century. Okay, so far so good with the Roman soldier guy. Then on another occasion, I met with Diet. It was like months later, and I really wanted to talk to this spirit guide, this Roman soldier guy. But I asked Diet, I said, can I talk to my spirit guide? I didn't remind her about the Roman soldier part. So what she does, which is the part I'm going to read to you, okay? She describes my spirit guide as a man, you have to imagine, looks like an angel. He's all in a white robe and he's glowing. He's dressed like an ascended master. I'm going to read you this part. And, it fits the mold that you want of a spirit guide. Someone who's really wise beyond your understanding, who totally knows what's going on and you are protected. I mean, it's almost like your own personal avatar of God. It's just another representation because God is everywhere, right? So anyway, I like the way he looked so far. That sounded good. She didn't mention anything about the Roman soldier guy. And I'm all, I just want to talk to my spirit guide. I want to know how to get a hold of him. But before my spirit guide would just would give me his digits. Is that the expression they use nowadays? Before my spirit guide would tell me quite how to do that, he had to unload this giant speech that I'm going to read to you in a moment. Okay, let me make sure I got this all taken care of. I hope you're all enjoying this so far, doing the best I can to make this easy to follow along. I can't wait to share this with you. Okay, I'm doing a good job. So, as I mentioned, he goes into this large speech and he tells me about the ancient conflict between the genders that seems apropos of nothing. Like, again, I ask, how do I get a hold of him? He gives me this big, long speech about the time before religion and how genders were prior to that. So I'm getting ready to step in it in two places here, gender and religion. Okay. This is like what they say in Hollywood, you know, you never want to work with children or animals. Okay, here I go. I'm going where I'm not supposed to go, most likely. All right. It seems apropos of nothing, but when I transcribed it, like, you know, I spent some hours later listening to the recording, typing it out, reading what it said, and then I was proofreading the book over and over and over again. And every time I got to that part, my eyes would well up with tears. I'd start crying. I'm all, yeah, there's some kind of gender issue that was here before I got here. And I definitely sensed that conflict. So I think I'm getting ready to share this with you. But then again, I like to backtrack just like to a year ago, or even 3 years when I originally started typing out the script, which was, why do it, Breakaway Ray? Why are you doing this? You're the only one going to look at it. You know, this is valuable knowledge, perhaps sacred hidden knowledge. Okay. At least you can write it down. Maybe you should put it in a book. Okay. And then I would have other psychics telling me, yeah, you need to publish your book. All right. So anyway, it's not a commercial for my book, everybody. You can buy the book if you want to, or if you listen to STARCARD podcast, I'm going to be reading a bunch of it, apparently. Really glad I prepared. So anyway, I think I'm going to, if you're tuned in to STARCARD podcast and you're still listening, you can't wait to hear this. I can't wait to share it. So I did conclude all my notes. I've set everything up. And now it's story time with Grandpa Breakaway Ray. We got the tree behind me, and I'm going to angle my chair so I can read out of my book. And you can warm yourself up with a blanket by the fire, by your tree, get some hot cocoa or coffee, or, you know, just groove to whatever you got going on. If you're commuting to work, I hope you have a good day, everybody. All right. This is for entertainment purposes only. Yeah. And then we're going to get to your audience tarot. Yeah, we're only like 5 or 8 minutes behind regular schedule. Here we go. I think I'm getting good at this. Okay, so in today's selection of the Convoluted Autobiography, it's called Dragon in the Sky. And what happens is my spirit guide shows the reincarnated mystic through her third eye, the image of a dragon in the sky. And then Diet says it in Greek because she's very educated in the spiritual and the ancient and the metaphysical. She is the reincarnated mystic. So she says it in Greek. Greek is not one of my languages, so I'm apologizing in advance. I think I have a viewer in Greece, by the way. So anyway, I hope you enjoy the show. So when you hear me mumble something about dragon in the sky, that's me trying to say the Greek that she said. And yeah, I'm going to read about a page and a half. But before I get going, let's just zoom right to the end. So because there's something hidden there too. I want to show you. I underline it in red. Okay. So after my spirit guide gives me this big long speech about the time before religion, okay, he says, you know, if you're going to call me, call upon your highest spiritual guide, your holy guardian angel, and you give permission for change. So, hey, everybody, if no one told you that before, I had never heard of it before until Diet shared that with me. She was channeling the voice of my guardian angel. So if I want to talk to him, I would call upon my highest spiritual guide. We all have one. So, I call upon my highest spiritual guide, my holy guardian angel. And then the last part is also incredibly important. And I've had to use it many, many times. And somebody else told me this, and it wasn't just my spirit guide through the reincarnated mystic this time. And that is, I give permission for change. All of us are trying to solve the problems in our lives and keep things going. But at a time when you're ready to throw in the towel, the spirit world needs to know that they're allowed to come in. You got to call the bullpen. You got to bring in the relief pitcher. You gave it your best shot. Let the universe take over. And then you got to let them know, I give permission for change. I use that expression. And I would say I look and feel better for it. Anyway, I give permission for change. All right, so now I think I get to read the whole thing to you. Here we go. Thanks for your patience, everybody. There is a quote that I transcribed from Diet, which reveals what I perceive as a crushing inner conflict taking place under my patina of presentability. I ask, anyway, maybe you could help me learn more about my spirit guide and how to stay in touch with the person? And here comes Diet's reply. Okay, so he does not feel, I wouldn't say Anunnaki God-like. The Anunnaki have a very intense energy to me. He's got a very, almost like he was intentionally created by Anunnaki, but he's more of like a spiritual master. It's kind of what the feeling comes from. I see him showing me himself dressed in a white robe, which represents to me that he's gone through enough lifetimes of initiation and spiritual knowledge that he's now at peace. He's very balanced, and he's here to kind of like support that here, meaning here for you, or you selected him for that. Okay, sorry, he's showing me some strange visuals of, I don't know what he wants me to share this with you, but I'm just going to throw that out there. You could take it as you want. So he's showing me a dragon, like a big snake-like dragon in the sky, and he's saying, remember that the cosmos was orderly, but also chaotic. It was this universal order and chaos in one for the ancients. And chaos was really demonized, eventually to gain order over. And the masculine here on earth was that of order and justice, dominating chaos, and chaos became feminine. And so what happened was the feminine was raped, destroyed, demonized, controlled, all these really horrible things that masculine energy did. Diet continues the spirit guide's story. And the problem is these sacred spiritual leaders and the empires, they understood this. Narrator's note. While writing this, I am having an uber epiphany because I have been ruminating, as I do every time I wake up, about the interactions I'm having with people at work. As Diet describes what my spirit guide tells me I'm supposed to remember, I think, well, wouldn't that be a taste of my own medicine? What do I suppose all that James Jesse Strang stuff is about? Him and requiring women to wear bloomers, possibly the most trivial of all of his domineering behavior? Come on, an advocate might say, bloomers were really pro-feminine, but that hypothetical advocate can go beep because I have to deal with the karma, and that's not helping. And Diet continues as the reincarnated mystic channeling my spirit guide. Here we go. My spirit guide again. They knew that the feminine was just an archetype of chaos, and that's that dragon energy. As Diet continues, the internet signal begins to garble, which has happened to us before when speaking about things related to a DNA upgrade. This same thing occurred in one of her live chats online when she touched on certain subjects, and it was commented on in the chat by someone. So I know it's not just me or my devices. And my spirit guide continues. But they still used it to power over women. It was still used to control women, their ability to have children, and all these different things and property. He wants me to bring you back to before religion was created with those means, and back into the archetype of feminine and masculine energy within the cosmic nature. And you can look at also a lot of the mythologies of ancient Greece as sort of like Sudemse Metaifa, the great serpent in the sky. The serpent in the sky is the feminine nature of chaos. But before the masculine dominated this, it was all just cosmic energy of two different energies. It wasn't, it wasn't a masculine dominating feminine. He says, and Diet stammers and laughs when she channels this. He says, that's like your most important lesson. And then Diet laughs. And as I have been transcribing this, I have to pause and I have to laugh too. The parallels seem clear to me. I'm laughing, but I'm also crying in anguish. Narrator's note, I find that I'm crying every time I reread this part, intending to revise or edit. And finally, Diet concludes what my spirit guide says. Or the most important thing he says is to know this. It's been distorted by humans and by these agendas. Power, dominance, he says, but the cosmic energy was the truth. So there you are, ladies and gentlemen. That's from the Convoluted Autobiography. And he does conclude my spirit guide. I'd like to repeat for you. Call upon your highest spiritual guide, your holy guardian angel, and you give permission for change. I'm going to invite the Tarot World to comment on today's reading. Connecting with your spirit guide. Maybe the steps I've taken will help someone advance in theirs. Oh, wait, here we go. Let's go this way. Hey, everybody. Thanks for being patient. Yeah, you got 10 minutes bonus time with Breakaway Ray. Here we go, Tarot World. Thanks for that great opportunity to share my spirit guide's message about time before our religion and the balance of masculine and feminine. And we invite you to share your perspective. I know it will be illuminating. Thanks very much. Thanks for the help, making me look good. Connecting with your spirit guides. The 10 of Wands. It's a lot of work. The 4 of Wands. There's the homecoming. You want to go home to speak to your spirit guides. It's a lot of work to get there. The 3 of Cups says you should celebrate even just the journey. Look at them. They're following the path. Coordinated dance moves. Synchronized groove. Then you'll be sitting pretty like the Empress. You're going to feel it in your heart and soul. You're going to be styling. So everybody, the 10 of Swords says the hard times are over, because the Page of Cups says you all have a new mission, and that is to connect with your spirit guides. Ole! Thank you, Spirit World. Thank you, Ethereal Bloom cards. Now, that's another reason why I like these cards, huh? Okay, so now, everybody, I'm going to get out the trees and we'll do some audience tarot. I have to check and see who's here, because I got your trees here. Hang on. All right. Hello, Flix Love. I know I'm saying your name out loud, and I'm going to look for your tree. Hello, Namira. Hi, Danny. There you go. I knew I had Danny. There's Namira. Okay. Good. see. Hello, Arizona Raven. Okay. Hello, Lily. Lily's a girl. Hello, Lily. Thanks for joining us. And Heavenly Cups is here. Okay, and she wants Robin Wood. Okay. So I think I just need one for I got one for Arizona Raven in here. There you are. Then I need one for. Oh, there we go. Someone's helping me out here. Thanks, Flix Love. Namira, Arizona Raven, Heavenly Cups. All right. You know, I picked out Danny's tree. I'm not sure if Danny actually wanted one, but I'm going to check. Maybe Danny and Lily want to read. Yeah, Lily, can I ask a question? I see your question. I saw your first question, which was, can I ask a question, Lily? If you're ready to type in your question, I'll look for it. Thank you. Thanks for inviting me to read. Okay, mermaid deck for Flix Love. Classic for Namira. So I appreciate everyone's comments. I'm going to read the chat afterwards. I just want to get going on your reading. Heavenly Cups, do I have you down for Robin Wood? Neon for Danny. Good. Arwen, yeah. Hi, Arwen. I know I saw your tree. Bam. Got it. All right. So Namira Classic, Flix Love Mermaid, Arizona Raven, got your tree. Heavenly Cups, good. Arwen. Okay, I think I've got it. If I haven't, someone will help me proofread. We got plenty of time, everybody. Let me take a quick tea break here. One of my 3 timeouts. All right, good. Nice Gatorade. Just kidding. I don't drink that stuff. Yeah, sure was a lot of work typing all that out. I'm glad I did. Good lesson plans today. All right. So let's go to Heavenly Cups. And you asked for the Robin Wood deck. Here we go. All right, Heavenly Cups. I'm so excited that you have asked for a reading. Thank you very much for inviting me along on your adventure. I hope you find inspiration everywhere you look. Just be an inspired person, right? Might as well. Life is short. I know we both have a lot to look forward to. Every day is precious. Today's the first day of the rest of your life. All right. I'm all out of old sayings from my grandparents. Let's throw some cards for Heavenly Cups. Thanks for being a fan and a subscriber. I really appreciate it, Heavenly Cups. All right. This is for entertainment purposes only. First up, okay, this is good because we're starting off with this. There's nowhere to go but up. It's the 5 of Pentacles. There's a sense of abandonment, We're forlorn. Maybe there's some kind of financial issue. Maybe we can't find our favorite blouse. Anyway, the King of Swords comes to the rescue. All right, well, there might be a problem, but you might have someone like this who knows the truth, like a parent, and can set things straight. Then you have the Queen of Pentacles. Yeah, the Queen of Pentacles. You have the working parent. So again, I'm hearing responsible parents here. The working parent. Okay. Ooh, then the Two of Swords says we have a choice here. Crossroads. Okay. Oh, okay. So here's an adventure from the United States. Okay. It's the 1980s, and Skippy from the high school, he wants to go to homecoming. It's his senior year, and he wants to borrow his parents' car, and he's making out like he doesn't have anything. I mean, he never gets to take the car out. He's only 17. So both of his parents have to make sure that, we know all the rules with the car and what time is the curfew. We're being responsible. And then, you know what? It's like a big test. Now he has his chance to prove to his parents, and his parents can prove to themselves that they did a good job of setting him up for success. Who knows what's going to happen? I don't know. Let's go to door number 1. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, well, anyway, the Three of Pentacles talks about teamwork. Again, I'm hearing about parents working together here, more teamwork involved. That's what's going to get you through the crossroads, working together. You got a decision? You're going to make that decision together. Yay. Yay. You went from the Five of Pentacles, which is like having no pentacles, and now you have the Ace of Pentacles, which is the best, the ultimate pentacle. But then look, maybe to go back to my story, Skippy did a good job. The car came home without a ding, and he made it home by curfew while his parents were waiting up for him that night, and teamwork worked. So now they have a son who's a responsible adult. I hope you like my story. Thank you very much for inviting me to read. Yay, okay, you're welcome, Heavenly Cups. Let's give these a toss. Next, Arwen. Okay, Arwen. Thanks, Tarot World. That was a fun story. And now let's have an inspirational story for Arwen, please. All the friends who are still hanging out in the chat. Cool deal. These cards are for Arwen. All right. Thanks a lot for inviting me to read, Arwen. Let's have some fun. First up, all right, cool. It's the Four of Wands. It's the homecoming card. The Four of Wands, celebration, joy, harmony. It even says marriage. It says home, community, homecoming. There's no place like home for the holidays. Sorry. Here we go. Oh, yeah. Then when all the kids come home, they're all cooped up in the house. Go outside and play. It's the Five of Wands. There's conflict, competition, rivalry, disagreements. And you know what? We can always just take the Five of Wands, and then we could all take a chill pill, and we could turn that card upside down. And upside down it says, everyone avoid conflict, respect differences, agree to disagree. All right. Let's leave that guy upside down. Then the Nine of Pentacles says, now you're all set to go. It's the fruits of your labor. I guess, you know what? We know your cousins are going to stay for the holidays. We already figured out who's going to stay in whose room. And now we're all set to have fun, before Santa comes. Yay. We're going to love it when Santa shows up. It's the Lover's card. Okay. We're going to have fun with family and friends for the holidays. All right, Arwen, look at this party you've got going here. And then, It's the 10 of Cups. It's the dream come true card. Hang on. Arwen, divine love, harmony, blissful relationships, alignment, inner happiness, fulfillment, dreams come true, family contentment, total love and support. Whoa. Way to go, Arwen. That's going to be great. Or it is great. Maybe it's happening right now. I'm happy for you. Yeah, we love turning this card into a positive. It's the 10 of Swords. The hard times are over. We turn this guy upside down. Watch me turn this upside down. The reverse 10 of Swords, only upward, recovery, regeneration. I think that's the key thing there. You're going to feel regenerated after the holidays. You know, not only are bad times behind us, you're going to feel totally invigorated. You're watching STARCARD Podcast, and you just got the rejuvenated, reinvigorated card. I don't really need to read it, but it is a commercial for my own podcast. So here you go. The Star Card. Hope, calm, faith, purpose, renewal, spirituality, sure, fortune, good omen, and rejuvenation. All right. Thanks for visiting STARCARD Podcast. Amazing reading. Love it. Thanks for the soda bubble hearts and happy faces, everybody. That's right. We're all having fun. Let's keep it coming. Next up, Flixlove wants the mermaid deck. Wow, what a bonus. We got another reading from the Convoluted Autobiography, and it's an unboxing video on YouTube. Let's unbox the mermaid deck. Okay. Let's throw some cards for Flixlove. See, the tarot world's on fire. Everyone make sure you get a tree, get a reading. Use my email address. All right, tarot world, keep it coming. A little tarot world binge. Let's see your best shows. How about some cards for Flixlove, please? Thank you. These cards are for Flixlove. First up, the Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups. There's a golden chalice filled with sea anemones and other probably edible sea creatures surrounded by seaweed. Let's go to the book. I really like this book from the craft cards. I like it because, well, it's written really well. This is not the one with the pictures. Hang on. So let's read about the Ace of Cups for Flixlove. Ace of Cups, a time of new beginnings and new relationships, usually in terms of love. Ooh, you'll be feeling happy, positive, and good about yourself. This is a time of joy, compassion, celebration, and creativity. Now is a good time to begin new friendships and get out there and socialize. Next up, it's the Strength card. And the Strength card is like the exclamation point. Get out there and socialize. Show off what it's like to be around Flixlove. Let everyone know what they're missing when you're not there, because you got a good vibe. Everybody wants to be around you. Next up, yeah, I was just talking about you. It's the High Priestess. Yeah, exactly. Does the tarot world know you or what? Okay, Flixlove, it's the Nine of Pentacles. It's the Nine of Pentacles. That's the fruits of your labor. So, well, now's as good a time as any for the High Priestess to get out there with all the magic that she's got revved up and ready to go for the holidays. And the Ten of Wands. Yeah, that's correct. The 10 of Wands says it took a lot of work to get where you're at. So now's a good time, 9 of Pentacles, to get out there and go for it. Use that energy. Because look what's going to happen. First, the Fool says it's going to be a new adventure for you. Wow. What a great card. And not only that, it's going to be a very worthwhile adventure. It's the 10 of Pentacles. All right. Be adventurous. Be the Queen of Wands, even though she didn't show up there, because you're the High Priestess. Go for it. Right on, Flix Love. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All my friends in Holland. Let's give these a toss. Oh, there you are, Lily. All right, Lily. I'm going to get my trees out and write down your question. All right, Lily. I'm almost done with your tree. And I'll throw some cards about that. Okay, we'll see what the tarot world wants to share with you. Thank you very much, by the way, Flix Love. Okay, so, and when I want real precise answers, I use the cards with the words on them. It just goes faster, get more information. All right, let's give this a try. I mean, if it works for you, I guess I should try it. All right, Lily, a future forever person. Here we go. All right, Tarot World. What an interesting query. Lily wants to know about a future forever person, quote unquote. Would you care to share any thoughts on the subject, please? These cards are for Lily. That's right, for Lily. These cards are for Lily. Okay, here we go. All right, Lily. Hey, this is for entertainment purposes only. All right. Now, don't forget that you're getting information from an anonymous person on the internet. All right, here I go. Well, there's good news because you got the Sun card. And that's what you're really looking for. You're thinking, you know, when I'm that happy, fulfilled person and the sun seems to be shining every day, who's going to be there with me? I would suggest, just because this is me, okay, that, yeah, I think that the people are going to gravitate to you. I would say shine because you want to be shining. You don't have to wait for anyone. They will come to you if you shine. Anyway, right, the King of Pentacles, we're talking about the subject of your query. That would be security, abundance. Well, this guy actually says wealth, business, leadership, security, discipline, abundance, prosperity, and generosity. Or it could be feeling like that. If you have the mindset, if you have the mindset that the sun is always shining and, you know, life is filled, abundantly, again, I think people will want to go to that person's party. Here you go. The 6 of Cups talks about an exchange, giving and receiving. Also talks about nostalgia and happy memories. I don't know if the tarot world is just recapitulating the query. We're going to work through the message here. Yay, exactly. The Ace of Cups. You're going to like this card, Lily. Ace of Cups, love, compassion, creativity, new feelings, spirituality, intuition, new baby, proposal, marriage. We're talking about the state of having the sun always shining and feeling abundant and creating happy memories. We're talking about that lifetime. And the Page of Swords tells us, well, hang on. Yeah. All right. We'll come back to you, madam. Okay. So first, let's start with the Page of Swords, Lily. The Page of Swords says, I got new ideas for you, basically. And the High Priestess says, trust yourself. These are all the words it does say about the High Priestess. intuition, sacred knowledge, the subconscious, divine feminine, trust yourself, sensitivity, purity, and high morals. So I always imagine that when I meet the right person, it's really going to lift up my vibration. And then I don't know how many decades it took me to figure it out. You pretty much have to live in that vibration anyway. You can't count on other people for it. But then the fun part is that now that you're living in that vibration, guess what happens? You're living the life you want to live, and you're following your intuition, which always provides new opportunities for you. And the people that you're looking for, they start gravitating toward you because their vibration is matching up with you. So anyway, maybe I was too verbose. I apologize if you had to take out your thesaurus. I wish you a lot of luck, Lily, and I want to thank you very much for inviting me to read. I hope you have a good holiday. Let's give these a toss. Throw another treat. Okay, great. Next up, it's Arizona Raven. Hey, Arizona Raven. I know you know your tarot cards, Arizona Raven, so I'm going to have fun with the Ethereal Bloom deck. Thanks a lot for joining me, Arizona Raven. I can't believe anyone's up with us, Arizona Raven, but I also can't believe that anybody's up as early as you and I are. We're definitely in a small part of the population. Anyway, Arizona Raven, here comes a tarot message for you. Thanks so much for inviting me to read. Thanks for all the practice. Okay, let's do it that way. These cards are for Arizona Raven. Wonderful. First up, the Empress. I'd like to read about her. The Empress, there is beauty, abundance, femininity in your life. There may be a new opportunity, romance, art, or new business on the horizon. Focus on your senses and on creative expression. You will experience pleasure and deep fulfillment. The Four of Swords talks about rest, rejuvenation, and relaxation. The Knight of Cups talks about a knight in shining armor. I really like the artwork there. Wow. Then, you got two knights in a row. I know you know what it means. The Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles talks about hard work. If this was a baseball story, here comes your long-term reliever out of the bullpen. You can count on him for 3 innings to shut things down. Yeah, then the King of Swords shows up, and he's filled with truth, looking like a slender and fit Santa Claus. Okay, I'm not going to fill in too much. Anyway, here we go. The Ace of Wands. There's magic in the air for you this holiday season, Arizona Raven. And the Temperance card talks about balance. I'm going to read from the book for you while I admire that image. Wow, I like the color of the gray in the background. Anyway, let's read about temperance from the book. Temperance, you are being invited to stabilize your energy, to learn to bring about balance, patience, and moderation in your life, and to allow the life force to flow through you without force or resistance. You should take the middle road, avoiding extremes, and maintain a sense of calm. And you'll probably be setting a lot of examples for other people who need to see that. That's Breakaway Ray adding that on. Way to go, Arizona Raven. Have a great holiday. Thank you very much for inviting me to read. Good to see you again. I'm going to give these a toss. It looks like Namira's up next. I see St. Fanny Clark. I don't know if St. Fanny Clark would like a reading, but you can let me know. I got plenty of trees and plenty of time. All right. Did Namira wanted the classic deck? Yeah. All right, Tarot World. Where do we go? Namira. Here we go. Okay. here at StarCard Podcast with our Dutch dominant population of viewers. Here we go. Let's throw some cards for Namira. Thank you, Tarot World, for all the help. You always send good messages to Namira. Thank you very much. These cards are for Namira, please. Thank you. Oh. Here we go, Namira. The Judgment card. Swapping out old things for new things. Ending the old year, looking for the new year. Let's read about Judgment. Judgment, rebirth, inner calling, a new phase. Absolution, reckoning, awakening, redemption, forgiveness, and mercy. Followed by the Knight of Pentacles. That guy's such a hard worker. The Knight of Pentacles, hard work, productivity, routine, conservation, efficiency, responsibility. It's kind of like closing up shop at the end of the day, and we're all closing up 2025, getting ready for the new year. Then the Emperor talks about control. The Emperor, respect, leadership, stability, structure, rules and power, authority, father figure, protection, control, discipline, focus, practicality. And I'd like to say that in the new year here in the United States, a whole bunch of new laws are always enacted. I just want to mention that, because it reminds me of that anyway. Hey, speaking of new year, don't forget to have a good time with your friends. It's a 3 of Cups. It's a celebration card. Celebration, friendship, collaboration, creativity. Is this like all about a new year thing? Wow. It's the 9 of Swords, one of the cards I love turning upside down. I think it's a good time to turn it upside down at the end of the year. Because we're going to take the anxieties or whatever was keeping us up in 2025, and we're going to turn it upside down. We're going to turn that frown upside down. We're going to turn it something positive. So I'm going to go right to the upside down, the reverse 9 of Swords. Releasing worry, hope, reaching out. Don't we all feel like that after the new year, getting together with our friends? Turn that upside down. Okay, the old year is done. We're in control. We're going to rock on in the new year. Let's celebrate what was behind us and what's coming at us. Because the 6 of Cups says we're going to make happy memories together. Familiarity, happy memories, childhood memories, reminiscing, innocence and joy. And then also 7 of Cups talks about lots of opportunities. And look, everyone's holding up their drink, toasting the new year there. Okay. The 7 of Cups, opportunities, wishful thinking, choices, illusion, searching for purpose, and daydreaming. Namira, thanks for inviting me to read. Great to see you here. Happy holidays. Next up, it looks like Danny is the last one, unless I get some other kind of request. I'm willing to do one more in case I miss somebody. Otherwise, that's okay too. So, Danny, you asked for the neon deck. Let me get it out. You're welcome, Namira. Thank you very much. Oh, Kimberly Bamford. Okay, yeah. Hi, Kimberly. I think I still have a tree for you. Hang on, everybody. I'm just checking out my tree pile. Oh, I'm reminiscing every time I see everybody's name here. Right, I'm looking for Kimberly Bamford's tree. I know I have it in here. Kimberly Bamford. There we go. All right, got you ready, Kimberly. But this is for Danny. Hello, Puck Elf. I see you in the chat. Hi, Puck Elf. Puck Elf, let me know if you want me to throw you a card. I'm just happy you're here, Puck Elf, anytime. All right, but these cards are for Danny. Wow, exciting neon throw going on. One card, Puck Elf. All right, hang on, everybody. I'm taking another one of my 3 timeouts. This is my second one. I want to get Puck Elf's tree ready. I appreciate your patience and your requests and your company. There we go. Well, this is one of the ones for Puck Elf that I did in pencil. That's good for now. Puck Elf, one card. Anyway, here we go, Danny. Sorry to make you wait. Let's try again. These cards are for Danny, please. Tarot World, thank you. We're having a lot of fun. Wow. I haven't used these cards in a while. They feel different, all right. These cards are for Danny, please. Tarot World's totally like giving us holiday messages here. Hey, there's one of your cards. Here we go, Danny. Right off the top. Whoa. There we go. Wait, no, we're going to do one more. Yeah, okay. Well, Danny, here comes the story. Your cards came out in an unorthodox fashion. I think these cards are just excited to be here. You know, it's their first time on the playing field, perhaps. We have... is that the Queen of Wands? Sorry, Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords, you were right. And she's telling everybody that you were right. Let's find out what you were right about. Wow. It's the Lover's card. Well, you were right about something in regards to some kind of union, some kind of coupling, or as we like to say here at StarCard Podcast, this could be an intuitive thing. You know, you were right. You got a connection to your spirit guide. You did not misread that. That was not a coincidence. That was a message from your spirit guide. Wow, there's some confirmation for you. Okay, now the Knight of Cups. So check this out. I don't know if you'd agree with me, but doesn't the horse look kind of ghostly? Isn't it almost like a kind of an apparition? The Knight of Cups is the knight in shining armor. You were right. That was a message from your spirit guide. Okay, the spirit guide is your knight in shining armor. That's the vehicle that you're riding. You know, as you travel through life, you have a companion. It's invisible. Sweet. And it's the Magician. When you collaborate with your spirit guide, it sure feels like magic, Danny. These cards are cool. Next. Oh, way to go, Danny. Good call. It's the Death card. Check out the horse. It's on fire. Look at the hooves. That is cool. The Death card talks about endings and beginnings and transformations. So is that what's going on? Am I getting the light right here? Okay. So you were right. That wasn't a coincidence. It was a message from the spirit world. You are correct. You are in connection with your spirit guide. That's where all the magic is happening. And now you're ready for a transformation. Wow. Now you are the emperor. You're even more in control than you thought. This is like a psychic progression. Congratulations. Wow. And then there's the Temperance card. The ultimate in balance, and might not be balanced when you got wings and power like this angel and that emperor. Wow, Danny. I feel very honored to have you distinguish our chat with your presence. Thank you for inviting me to read. Very exciting. There's your holiday light show. on StarCard Podcast. Cool. Oh, hello, Tennessee, Kentucky Bigfoot. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for being here. Now it's a real party, isn't it, everybody? Cool. How many people we got going here? That's a big crowd. Thanks for joining me, everybody. Each and every one of you, and anyone who's watching later. Puck Elf, here comes a card for you. Way to go, Danny. You're welcome. All right. So I think everyone saw that, right? I mean, I'm going to go back and check the video later. I was going to shuffle these to get one card for Puck Elf, right? Well, one card popped out. Welcome to StarCard Podcast. Thanks for being here. I bet you feel rejuvenated. We love having you here, Puck Elf. Awesome. Hey, everybody. It was a good day for readings, huh? Possibly we're closing up shop with Kimberly Bamford, as far as I can tell. She's the last one of my trees I have to read for. All right. I'd like to toss these one more time, and then we'll throw cards for Kimberly Bamford. We should go. Hello, Melly Star. Thanks for joining us. That's great. All right, and these cards are for Kimberly Bamford. I'm sorry, I'm doing, Kimberly Bamford. Exactly. We're going to go neon. Good. These cards are for Kimberly Bamford. Way to go, Kimberly Bamford. Very observant. I feel honored that you're tuning in. I must be sharing something if you're following StarCard Podcast. Thanks for joining us, Kimberly Bamford. These cards are for you. These exciting neon deck cards. Hey, Melly Star. Thanks for your subscription. All right. Anyway, these are for you, Kimberly Bamford. Wow. All these cards look amazing. It's the Hierophant, the Learned Man. Then the Hanged Man shows up. That's right. Well, it would be this way for you. The Hanged Man shows up. He says, take another look at something. Sweet. One of my favorite cards in the deck. It's the Two of Swords. And the Two of Swords lady has a blindfold on, I think. Let me check under my magnifying glass. She's got some kind of mask on, but it's a mask like from ancient Venice. No, sorry, Renaissance Venice. But anyway, it indicates that there's a crossroads or a decision to make. Cool. It's the Knight of Wands. And the Knight of Wands talks about charging energetically forward. I'm going to go to the book for you on this. Knight of Wands. I'm looking it up in the book for Kimberly Bamford. Knight of Wands, you are being adventurous, energetic, and charming. You are heroic, rebellious, free-spirited, and charged up with enthusiasm. You may go traveling, may take a free-spirited adventure, or move country, or may make brave new business decisions. You are taking risks now that can pay off well. You might be hot-tempered and rushing into action now, but if you are finishing what you started, success will be coming your way. And then the Five of Swords shows up, and the Five of Swords talks about competition. So an easy story for me to tell might be, you've got plans for holiday, but you're so experienced and observant that if you look at things in a different way, you might be ready to make a new decision that will make things better. Or maybe you just get an upgrade. You don't have to fly coach. You're going to be knowledgeable enough to use your flying miles so that you can get a promotion, an upgrade in your travel situation, just as an example. Okay, and so we close with the Moon and Judgment. The moon and judgment. The moon talks about mystery and illusion, and judgment talks about sending out the old and welcoming the new. Oh, is this New Year's Eve? Do you have New Year's Eve plans? You flying? Anyway, however it goes for you, Kimberly, happy holidays. Thanks for inviting me to read. All right. Okay, I don't think I've seen anyone tossing any more requests in, so I'm going to close up shop, everybody. I'm sorry if I missed you. If you want to contact me via email, you may. Or just make sure you subscribe and hit the notification button so that you know when I'm coming on air. I usually send out a notice about an hour before I turn on the camera. When I do turn on the camera, I want to thank you so much for letting me share with you today. I hope any tarot messages I shared really benefited you, and maybe something I said or did made you think or smile. So, be your best self out there. I appreciate everyone's likes and subscriptions and shares. And thanks for your attention. All right. Have a good one, everyone.